Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. Let's get straight down to it. It's fight night, the biggest fight of the year, hands down. We don't know Joshua Fury's going to happen yet, so I'm calling it the biggest fight of the year. Canelo, the biggest superstar in boxing. Billy Joe Saunders, the greatest British boxer, I believe, of the last 50 years. Go head to head in Texas tonight, and it's all to play for. It's been a brilliant build-up. I covered that last night, talking about the issues, the ring gate, the glove gate, the ring judges, everything, the face-offs, the mind games. It's been great. Canelo does look rattled. I'm not saying, as I said before, he's lost the plot, but he looks rattled, on edge. And that's great to see because he had his own way for the last 3 years. Pretty much every fighter, including Kovalev, including Callum Smith, rocked up for the payday in many ways. Billy Joe has not. But can he win this fight? Well, let's get it down to it, shall we? Let's break it down. So, it's a tough ask. There's no question. You've pretty much got 70,000 Mexicans who are going to be screaming any time Canelo gets near any kind of punch that lands. They're going to be screaming for. And of course, any punch that lands for Billy Joe is going to be met with deathly silence. So that's going to sway the judges. The judges are going to have to be brave. They're going to have to be professional, because to give Billy Joe a decision is a big ask, because you're ultimately facing a backlash of 70,000 people. So you've got to be brave. The Mexicans are passionate, but we're hoping that, we can keep up enough storm that the judges do the right thing. And if Billy Joe clearly wins his fight, he gets a decision. I'm hoping that, being promoted by Eddie Hearn, as well as Canelo is now, that he'll get a fair crack. I think Billy Joe's got a smart team behind him. With MTK, they're quite a powerhouse in boxing, so I'm hoping they'll be banging the drum. I hope the decision goes his way if he does earn it. Now, the key thing that Billy Joe's got to look out for is obviously what Canelo's going to do. He's not going to headhunt. I don't think he's going to go to the body. He's going to look to try and bank the early rounds. He might even accept he's going to lose the early rounds to get to Billy Joe late, wearing him down. What he'll do is to try and target the body, and then occasionally he'll go upstairs. He's very good at disguising that. He did that against Kirkland. He did that a lot against Smith. He's very good at combating a specific body part. So Billy Joe needs a tight guard. He needs a tight, especially around his midriff area. He needs to be wary of that, because I think Canelo's going to try and beat the body and then try and take him out early. That's going to be his tactic. He believes he can walk Billy Joe down because Billy Joe hasn't got any power, so he can cut the ring off. That's why he's not worried about it being an 18, a 20 or 22 foot ring. What Billy Joe needs to do, of course he needs to get on his bike majority of the time, box and move, but he needs to sting Canelo. He needs to pepper. He needs to be vicious with that jab, go to the eye with authority, bang, straight back. And I really like I said, Kevin Mitchell said a few days ago, no more than 2 punches, bang bang, tight guard again, bang bang, tight guard. Don't get off more than 3 or 4 punch, because you get countered and you get hurt by Canelo, who's a brilliant counter puncher. But what he doesn't like, and here's a blueprint, Marquez struggled against Mayweather, he struggled against Mayweather. The Mexicans, they like it when people come to him. He doesn't like coming to other people. He's a counter puncher, so make the counter punch. Make him come out of his comfort zone, bring the fight to you, and then make him pay. That's what Billy Joe's got to do. But he's got to be very, very, very switched on, because Canelo's got a brilliant punch variety. He's not just a headhunter, he's not just a body hunter, but he's going to go to the body the majority of the time to try and slow Billy Joe down. So he's got to be ready. He's got to have that tight elbow guard covering his midriff. But I like it. I really like Billy Joe's chances. A slick southpaw with great footwork. As long as he starts sharp with authoritative, don't tend to the jab, pepper that jab. Show Canelo you can hurt him, you can sting him. Get his respect early. And now at the end of the rounds, look at his eyeball, square up to him, frustrate him, laugh at him, do anything you need to do. You know what Sugar Ray did to Duran, wind him up. Make it ugly. In the inside, stick your elbow out. If he tries to tie you up, and then get out of reach again, but don't throw more than 2 punches. Don't get greedy like Khan did. Khan was fighting beautifully 5 years ago, outboxing Canelo, sticking and moving, but he got greedy, got overconfident. He left his chin out, he got hurt and knocked out. Billy Joe can't afford to do that, because Canelo can knock Billy Joe out. There's no question. Canelo has power. and timing and punch variety. So Billy Joe needs to be switched on for every second of every round. Ultimately, his best way of doing it is slowly beating Canelo up, making him look silly, boxing and moving. But he's got to be careful because, Canelo can do what he did to Khan. So no showboating. But Billy Joe's a brilliant fighter, brilliant natural boxer. He sees things before they happen in the ring. I have total confidence in Billy Joe, but you have to say the question mark is, can he keep it up for 12 rounds at this elite level? Because let's be honest, Canelo is by far the best opponent Billy Joe's fought, and Canelo's going to try and stalk him for 12 rounds, set him up and stalk him, so he needs to be switched on. Will he tire? If he does, it's going to be a Canelo late stoppage. The smart money is Canelo late stoppage or Canelo points. I've got a horrible decision. Billy Joe outboxes him but doesn't get the decision. But at least if he doesn't get that, at least the world sees that he won the fight. You know what I mean? He'll get the respect, and people will be in the coming weeks will be rightly on Canelo's case, and Billy Joe will have the moral victory. So that you can't worry what the judges do or don't do. Control what you can control. That's one thing I agree with Ben Davison. Just fight your fight. Don't get desperate. Don't try and go for a knockout because you worry what the judges do. Fight your fight. Stay controlled. Control what you can control. And ultimately, Billy Joe can do this. But it all comes down to mindset. It all comes down to being switched on. And it all comes down to him being able to sting and get Canelo's respect. Otherwise, Canelo's just going to try and walk him down. So he needs to be aggressive with the jab. Again, and use a variety as well. Do to Canelo what he does to you. Jab to the head, jab to the body, jab to the head, jab to the body. Use your variety. Punch him in spots he's not used to being punched in, and keep on them fleet-footed, which Billy Joe can do. He's got to use the outside of the ring. We said this, but when he does get off, bang bang, sting him, tight guard again. He's got to be disciplined. But I'm really impressed with Mark Tibbs. He looks to be really switched on. He knows exactly the blueprint. The blueprint's there. Lara, Mayweather, Trout, Kovalev. Even an aging Kovalev was outboxing Canelo. So you're not fighting a prime Sugar Ray Leonard. You're not fighting a prime Floyd Mayweather. These guys all were almost unbeatable. Canelo's very, very good. He's very, very tough, but he's not unbeatable. The blueprint's there. Billy Joe can do it. Tyson Fury believes he can do it. I believe he can do it, but he's got to be switched on. He's got to be at his best, and he can do it. He's a better natural boxer, and it's going to come down to footwork. Canelo, yes, he's improved. He's improved his punch variety, his power, his hand speed, his defence, but the footwork's still static. He looks still quite cumbersome and slow at times with his footwork. This is Billy Joe's biggest key. Fleet-footed. Make Canelo chase shadows. He hasn't got the footwork to keep up. So do what Tyson did to Klitschko. Make him look static. Use your footwork. And I believe Tibbs is making sure that's going to happen, especially in a 22 square ring. It's really exciting. Obviously, like I say, Canelo's going to try and go for the body and then try and knock him out later on with the overhand right. Billy Joe just needs to, like I say, be a mover, stick and move. Jab, cover up, and use that punch variety. Billy Joe can do it though. He sees punches coming, he gets out of the way of punches. He's got a great ring IQ as well, just as good as Canelo's, and he can set Canelo up like Canelo's going to try and set him up. Billy Joe can do this, but he needs a career best performance, he needs fairness from the judges, and he needs full concentration. And ultimately, we do need the fact that Canelo hopefully gets frustrated and angry and isn't quite at his best, because, Canelo's sharp at the moment, he's fighting a lot, but hey, this is his third fight in 5 months, maybe he's burnt out a bit. It doesn't always work for your benefit that you're fighting so regularly, especially at the highest level. You're not fighting journeyman anymore, Canelo, so maybe, who knows, this might be actually a fight too much for him. But there's some circumstances. Of course, Canelo's favourite. I'd say it's 60-40 Canelo, and we can see how he's going to win the fight. The judges, it's pretty much 85% chance he's going to get the decision, but ultimately the moral victory will belong to Billy Joe if he outpoints and outscores Canelo, which he can do. Stick and move, be disciplined. Billy Joe, the world is your oyster tonight. Good luck.